Hello everyone, my name is Vladimir and me and my colleagues Elena and Pilar are going to present the topic of this week, which is global value chains and the evolution of fast fashion manufacturers. We are going to do that by reviewing the two papers for this week and integrating this literature with the central question of this presentation, which is how does the global value chain framework explain the evolution of fast fashion manufacturers. Okay, we proceed to the governance of global value chains. The question of how to manage global value chains has become extremely important in the last 2 decades with the globalization of trade and production and the vertical disintegration of transnational companies. Multinational enterprises tend to concentrate on core activities and products and services that add the highest value to their value chain, and they tend to outsource their non-core activities. So they face the choice of which activities through the value chain should be produced internally and which should be outsourced, where this production should take place, and how this whole process will be managed. The goal is to deliver maximum value for the customers for the lower possible price. Yeah. We proceed by discussing what actually is a value chain. We have a definition, which is the process by which technology is combined with material and labor inputs, and then processed inputs are assembled, marketed, and distributed. We now proceed to the governance of global value chains and the transaction cost perspective. So as we know from the previous weeks, according to the transaction cost approach, there are two possible ways to organize the value chain, and this is the market versus the hierarchy, or the make or buy, as we've seen it in previous papers. Transaction cost scores outline two key factors to consider when making this decision. The first is the complexity of inter-firm relationship, and the second one is asset specificity. So when the products are simple and easy to produce, the complexity of inter-firm relationship is low and the asset specificity is also low. So the firm is better off just buying these products on the market. On the other hand, when the products are more complex and difficult to produce, the firm faces significant transaction costs related to coordination, exchange of information, and control over the supplier. So the firm is better off if it produces the good internally. The paper we are going to discuss is the Giraffe paper, and it builds on the transaction cost perspective, but introduces three additional factors that shape the governance mode of global supply chains. The first factor is the complexity of information. Basically, that refers to product and process specifications. The second factor is codifiability of information. Can the information be structured and transferred efficiently without transaction-specific investments? And the last factor is capabilities of suppliers. Basically, can the supplier actually produce the complex product? So based on these three factors, we end up with 5 different governance modes. We know 2 of them from previous discussion, namely the market and the hierarchy mode. So we actually have only 3 new modes. The first one is the modular governance mode. It happens in a case where the products are complex, but the information is easily codified and transferred between the client firm and the supplier. The supplier also has all the necessary capabilities to produce the product, and that lowers the need for control. The second one is the relational governance mode. Basically, the product specifications cannot be codified, so more coordination, collaboration, and exchange of knowledge is necessary. Both parties invest time and money in their relationship, so the cost of switching to a new partner is rather high. The last governance mode is the captive mode. It happens in a case when the buyer deals with a supplier with low level of production capabilities for complex products. So the buyer needs to exert a certain control over the suppliers, and the supplier, on the other hand, is dependent on the firm in terms of resources and technological know-how. So these are the 5 governance modes of global supply chains. I'm now giving the word to my colleagues who are going to explore these modes in more detail and in the context of the fast fashion industry.
Hello.
Sì.